Kayla, where's your flip grid? Linda, waiting for your flip grid. Okay, good. No rush. You have all day and night to do it. Got technically hours to do it if you want. Lindsay's in the house. We got Linda here. Emily, still waiting for Emily's flip grid. She didn't make one yet. No, it's not mandatory, but I want you guys to do it. Yeah, you don't have to do it now. Do it whenever you want. Just do it. Get extra credit. Every response or every post that you make, you get extra credit. It's easy points. Doesn't get much easier than that. How did we do today? Everything okay with today's activity? Yes. Nobody has posted except me in the 7th period flip grid. Yes, you're going to get extra credit. See, Joe to show, Joe Galante, it's got to be him. He's going to post in flip grid, he said. We all want to see Joe smile. We all want to see him spit some knowledge to all of us. Right, Joe? It's got to be you, Joe. Grey's Anatomy. I thought you watched all those episodes already. Still more? Joe, you're going to post on Flipgrid, right? I'm going to beat this to death, Flipgrid. Anything confusing about today? Thought thought it wasn't too bad. Sure, a lot of people are doing work in other classes. I want to try to make dedicated times where I could talk to you, that it's not distracting to doing other work. That's because you're a good student, Emily. See that? Teach Joe to show how to be like that. CJ always finishes his work early too. How many New Zellas did you guys do today? If you don't want to make a video for Flipgrid yet, at least check out the people who have made Flipgrids. We got Noah who made a Flipgrid, Sam who made a Flipgrid, CJ made a Flipgrid, grid. Ella made a Flipgrid, Aaron made a Flipgrid. Check them out. They're pretty good. You can check out mine. I did mine yesterday by the water. I almost blew over. Don't go outside. It's tornado watch. Question 8. Sure. All right. So I looked over a lot of your answers already. If you put that you would have expanded outside of the United States, put yes right now. So if you said that you would have, as a member of Congress, if you said that you would have supported claiming lands outside of North America, write yes. If you don't think so, you thought that we should have stayed isolated, say no. Wow. See, I like to talk about this one because this one's pretty good because think about it this way, right? Think about the United States of America. Before we were the United States of America, what did we do to become our own country? What did we do? Who did we fight off? Linda, yes, if you would have expanded outside of North America to claim more lands, or no, if you would have thought to stay isolated. Yeah, we had a war against England, right? What was the name of the war? There we go. See, Joe's witty. He's a little smarty. Now, what was the name of the war, Joe? Bet you a dollar you don't know it. There you go. The British were coming. Were coming. That's what they said. Were coming. No, but think about that, right? So we were people that didn't want to be ruled by a foreign nation. But now we're going to go out and we're going to rule other nations, basically being a hypocrite. Don't you think? But then people will say, well, if we didn't expand outside of North America, we would be nowhere near as powerful as we are today. It's an interesting little dilemma there because you want to be the most powerful, but at the same time, we fought a war to break away from being controlled by a foreign ruler. So if you looked at that map, right, the Age of Imperialism map that I posted in there, the country that you should have seen at this time before the United States, if you looked at that map, every single continent, yeah, 7, every continent excluding Antarctica had green on it, the British green, Great Britain green. Great Britain had literally control over everywhere. They had control in Europe. They had control over Ireland. They had full control over Canada. It's a big country. Full control over an entire continent with Australia. They had control in South America. They had control throughout Europe. Asia, in Africa, all over the place. Right? They were that powerful that they could literally control everywhere. What were some of the reasons why you said they were able to basically claim lands across the entire globe? What's the number one thing well, a few things. What do you think they needed to have to be that powerful? How would you be able to claim lands thousands of miles away? Oh, what would you need? What makes anybody powerful? There you go. Strong army and navy. But how are you able to have a strong army and a strong navy? What do you need to even have before that? How do you basically make your army and navy grow? Yeah, you need good leadership. That works. Come on, what's the one thing everybody wants, everybody needs? Yeah, exactly. Money. Right? And the United States was getting to that point. So think about places that we know today. And we're going to get into them. Alaska, Hawaii, Philippines, a bunch of the smaller islands out in the Pacific Ocean. We literally are going to claim them as ours. But the question is, was that the right thing to do? Was it the right thing to do basically to go in there and say, we're taking you over. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You'll see that we actually buy Alaska from Russia. You're going to see we literally go to Hawaii and we just overthrow the queen of Hawaii. They had a monarchy there. So, yeah, it was great because it made us the country we are today. I mean, this is a country that basically everybody's fighting to get into today. But at the same time, you have to think about what we've talked about before, ethics, morals, right? It was the right thing to do to just go into a land that was not as powerful and imperialize them. It's going to be another keyword. Right? Where we basically just use our dominance and just take them over. Right? It's like when the bully comes up to the kid who's a couple years younger than them and tells them, give me $1 or I'm going to beat you up or something like that. It's the same idea here. Right? If you're a country, because that's what Hawaii was, its own country, if you basically said, listen, we're not going to give up our country to you, well, then the powerful country is just going to come in and use their army and just take it by force. So there's a lot of that we're going to get into. There's going to be a lot of different areas. You're going to see on Wednesday, there's going to be a map that I'm going to want you to complete. But it's basically places throughout the world that we're going to have a dominance on. Places that you might have heard of that, but you don't know of. Cuba, Panama, the Philippines, Midway Island, the American Samoa Islands, Guam, Puerto Rico. These are all areas that at one point we had full dominance over. Some of them we still do. Others we granted them, their own freedoms. But that's what this chapter is all about. It talks about how we became the power that we are today. And what you guys are going to do tomorrow, I got an Ed puzzle for you. First time I'm using it, so it's a crapshoot. Should work out pretty well. But the thing is, I'll get to the Germany question in a second. The thing is, I got a really cool video that's going to talk about the growth of America and show how we are today and basically really how important the United States is today and how important they've been for the past 120 years, from World War I all the way to now. Without the United States being a part of, specific wars or conflicts, the world could have got out of hand. We're not saying it's the best place in the world now. I mean, it could obviously be better, but it could have gotten a lot worse without the United States if they didn't intervene. One of the questions says, did we colonize a part of Germany after World War II? It wasn't technically a colonization. So what's going to happen is the capital of Germany in Berlin is going to be split up and given to all the Allied powers. And then what will happen is, or all the powers that defeated enemy in World War II, and what they're going to do is they're going to split up pieces of Germany and split up specifically pieces of Berlin. That's why if you've ever heard of the Berlin Wall before, it's actually a pretty interesting piece where East and West Germany were split by a wall. So that's actually, I had to write a whole research paper on that. That was how I got my history degree. I had to write a 20-page paper, if you ever remember me talking about that. That was what it was on. It was on the Berlin Wall. So that's something hopefully we can get into when all is said and done here. But yeah, so that's just sorry, hold on, I'm reading something. So today, basically, that was just a little introduction as to what we're really going to be looking at, right? Just knowing what makes countries powerful. Like, oh yeah, think about that list, right? That was what I wanted to talk about too. A lot of people looked at that list of the most powerful countries in 2020. If you went on that website, they gave you really good information about how they actually rank these countries. But I mean, many of you, I don't know if some of you cheated. You probably did. You probably looked at the website and then went back and fixed your answers. Put a yes if you did that, because I know at least half of you did that. The ones that I know that didn't do that had some red there, unless you're really good, unless you guessed really well. But, the easiest ones, United States, Russia, China. But then some of you, the comments were, I couldn't believe that Saudi Arabia was one of the 10 most powerful countries in the world. I couldn't believe that Israel was one of the 10 most powerful countries in the world. Does anybody know the one reason that makes Saudi Arabia one of the, most important places on the planet where every country basically wants to have involvement with them? Does anybody know what makes Saudi Arabia, one, a really rich country, and two, very valuable? There you go, oil. Oh, that wasn't spelled right. Oil. It's all about oil. Everybody's looking for oil. Yes, it is a desert. A lot of areas out in the Middle East or desert, very desert, tough areas to live. Yeah, no, I had a quote board moment there with oik. But yes, Saudi Arabia, very, very, very important place. A lot of people, a lot of countries there yet are looking to have involvement with Saudi Arabia. It's basically what we're doing is we've basically tried to not use as many countries with oil as we can. We try to basically trying our best to not have to rely on as many countries for oil anymore. But still, Saudi Arabia is an area that is filled with oil, and countries trade and import from them constantly. That's why their currency is top 5 in the world as most valuable. But yeah, another one, Israel, right? Israel, that's right in the center of the world. If you were to look at a map, Israel is really basically well known for political viewpoints, a lot of different turmoil going on there. They're very involved in different interactions with the world. So Israel, and people don't realize there are only about 9 million people that live in that country. So it was pretty interesting. I was trying to find something different for you guys to look at. United Kingdom, that's still a country that's pretty powerful. Germany, still a pretty powerful country. If you think about Germany, Germany's had so many ups and downs over the past 150 years, whether it be losing their empire to losing and being a part of both World War I and World War II. I mean, when you think about Adolf Hitler, he was a German leader, World War II. What you're going to see when we talk about World War I is how Germany is, after all said and done, they're going to have to take full blame for the war. So Germany is going to basically be built up, ripped apart, built up, ripped apart. And think about where they are today. One of the top countries in the world still. A lot of smart people come from Germany. In the house. So if you're curious about that banging, yep, that's what it is. All right, but listen, I just wanted to have a little discussion, a little talk about this. Listen, send out some flip grids. All right, read your peers' flip grids. All right, get involved. I mean, I'm expecting a lot of interaction through this. I wish there were more ways where we could bring everybody together and talk together, where you guys could actually, speak and we could all hear each other. But it gets a little fishy with how we can do that. So we'll kind of brainstorm a little bit. So our best bet right now is Flipgrid. So talk with one another. I'll get involved. We can get a conversation going for a while. So if I look, we got 6 responses so far on Flipgrid. And I'm looking for a lot more. All right. So yeah, Zoom would be cool, but we can't. We got restrictions against Zoom. It is what it is. But listen, good job today. I believe all of you that are in here did the work, which is really good. And yeah, make a flip grid. I'll make sure that if I ever make a flip grid, I start off by flipping a sheet off of grid paper. Typical of you. So why don't you do it? Correct, CJ. There you go. But yeah. So hopefully you guys will get involved with Flipgrid. We'll keep that conversation going with the Flipgrid all week. And I'm telling you, you can literally get points for just commenting, responses. You could get, so if you look in the portal, it'll say Flipgrid. So if you make a Flipgrid, you'll get 11 points, 11 out of 10. So that's automatically extra credit. Every time you put another response in there, you can like you should be liking posts. Anytime you do any sort of interaction in here, maybe question somebody's viewpoint on something. You can play around with it. I mean, check it out. And basically just try to get conversations going. That's the one thing I miss with not seeing you guys, is being able to have conversation with a whole group. So for me, you know, I'm in grad class right now. It stinks when you're just sitting behind a computer and you're given assignments and you have no way to really talk with your teacher or your peers. You know, obviously there's text and whatnot, but it's not the same as having a conversation with somebody. That's why I keep trying to promote this like crazy. Flipgrid, Flipgrid, Flipgrid. Or I'm going to just make it mandatory. And that'll be even better. Listen, if you don't want your face in the Flipgrid, just put the screen down and then put some ridiculous little picture there. Maybe put a smiley face or some crap. I don't know. But you don't have to put it on your face. We just want to hear you talk. You know, if you want, I mean, Sam's made one just about every single time. Linda's made one just about every single time. Noah, CJ's gotten involved a little bit. Kayla's tried it out. She goes for it. She's not scared. Well, maybe she is a little scared, but at least she tries and she's going for it. All right, so get your peers involved. A lot of your parents got on Remind too. I sent them out a whole email yesterday, so they're on Remind. Twitter account, that's going. The stocks, I don't think we had any winners for the stock assignment in here. And even with that, 30 people didn't do the stock assignment. Whatever. But just know, no completion equals a 0. All right, guys. It's been real. Maybe we'll get another one of these later on when we can get some more people involved. Flipgrid. Do it. If you got any questions, email me. Later.